Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the news from the last day, recap the games from this morning in the LPL and LCK. Tonight's LCS games will be on tomorrow's Roundup because they end so late. And then going to preview the LCK, LPL, and LCS slate for tomorrow. Start off with news. So TSM have swapped out Wild Turtle for Neo. Swapped out Neo for Wild Turtle. Wild Turtle, obviously a player that's been around the block, right? A mainstay, like Stixay and Doublelift, a much older player. Neo has not been great, but the stats for Wild Turtle and Academy are not great either, so let's get into them. 3 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 63.7 KP. So on average, he's not winning his lane. Not winning his lane, not getting fed. And that's a bit of a concern. 615 damage per minute, 25-1 damage share, 23-5 gold share. We're looking at a player that, like I said, doesn't get fed because of those CS numbers. You can tell that that's why the gold number is down. And then 25 damage share is secondary damage. So somebody else on TSM Academy is dealing the bulk. 2 solo kills on average at 15 minutes. Wild Turtle's down 175 gold, 3 CS, up 100 XP. So relatively even through laning phase, right? A couple health pots difference. Okay. That's not monumental. So that's the only real difference I see between these two players' numbers. Obviously, it is at a lower level of play. So can Wild Turtle carry these numbers to the LCS remains to be seen in 2023. Neo put up a 3.2 KDA, also an 8.6 CS per minute, 68.6 KP, so slightly more involved than Wild Turtle, which results in, not much more damage, however, 516 damage per minute, 24.9 damage share. So another, both 80 carries, not really aggressive, not putting in work when it comes to damage and in team fights. And I gotta say that this is why this move seems very lateral to me to some degree. 24 gold share, and the only real difference is laning. So Neo, throughout this split so far, on average has been down 500 gold, 10 CS, and 225 XP at 15 minutes. Now that is sizable. You're looking at a possible component. A couple long swords even. Something like that, right? We're looking at a situation where 500 gold is something. Is it super game changing? No, but I think that is the largest difference between the two, that Wild Turtle might be laning better than Neo, but you have to keep in mind, like I said, it's at a higher level of play for Neo. So there is that. TSM have issues. They have definitely overperformed the expectations. So anybody that really gives them a lot of crap, I think, are like full of it, because they probably thought this team was going to be bad going into it, and the fact that they're even 5-6 right now is a shock. So I don't think you can acknowledge one. You can't acknowledge it, and you can't look at it and say this team stinks without acknowledging the fact that they actually have done better than what most people expected. Other news, more EG stuff came out yesterday. We saw Richard Lewis, who is a very reputable reporter, obviously, former, I believe, CSGO CSGO journalist, been in esports a very long time. They put out a lengthy article in regards to EG. It's definitely a tough situation. He went one step further than Thorin did when it goes into Danny's possible health, mental health, physical health, things like that. It's definitely concerning. I think that EG showed incompetence, negligence. I believe that they signed a player because it said in the article that they knew that he might, have, these conditions be on the spectrum or whatever, and they were aware of that, and I think they thought they could handle it, and they couldn't. And then when they couldn't, it just got worse and worse, and they tried to play it off because they didn't know what to do or how to handle it. And I mean, I'm not saying it's not the right thing. It's not. Danny got screwed. Clearly, I mean, the kid was only 18 years old, and we'll probably never see him again in the LCS, which is, just part of it. Obviously, I hope this doesn't hurt his, mental health when it comes to just trying to get into the workforce in the future, you know, because, he might think that, I don't know, like in the future, maybe he won't, be treated properly and things like that. And I hope that isn't the case. So, it's just, it's not great. It's not great. Not a great look by EG. I realize it's just complete incompetence. I think they thought they could do something that they simply could not do. So that's just my point of view on the situation as of now. 180 and 80 in my predictions. Recap wise, LPL this morning, FPX and Thunder Talk went one. FPX 1-8, Thunder Talk 5-4, Thunder Talk win 2-1. Beshwan was my MVP. Hoya led Thunder Talk in damage, 9-6-12, 29%. That you don't see every day. UCal 13-6-15 in mid. Fearness in top lane for FPX went 10-9-16, 30% of damage. I thought Fearness played a great game 2 and game 3. His Mordekaiser was on point. He was able to pick off Wanfeng in important team fights. He was able to outplay a dive with the Mordekaiser, which is a big reason why the Mordekaiser is picked. I thought his Fiora in game 3 also was doing things in lane. I think he started 3-0-0. Now Hoya, kind of just doing his thing, was able to deal damage despite not having as flashy of plays. Jin Lu playing for Thunder Talk, I thought FPX would win. Jin Lu did get caught out a couple times. I thought FPX's bot lane got the better of Thunder Talk as well on occasion. However, there was a mid diff, in my opinion, between UCal and Care. I thought that UCal was definitely able to outpace Care. Game 1, we saw Vagar into Annie. New on 13-4, LPL on 13-4. We may have the 13-3 video tomorrow. I know we just did 13-1B a couple days ago. And if the LCS is on 13-4 today, then 13-3 will come out tomorrow. And how that relates is that Vagar was buffed on 13-4. And we went over it in the 13-4 video, that some teams would benefit from it. But nevertheless, that pick was useful for UCal, and UCal also did some work on an Akali. However, Beshwan in Game 3 was the player to watch. Leading the team, I think he had 5 of the first 7 kills on the Wukong, had some really great engages. One in the Baron Pit sticks out to me, him and Hoya on the Gnar, really setting that up to take the game to the next level. And, Thunder Talk are in the middle of the road to me. I loved them. I wrote them off, and then I brought them back because Yao Yao was in and they were winning games, and now Jin Lu's back in, and I just don't know how to feel about them anymore. JDG and Team World Elite. JDG second in my power rankings at 7-2. Team We 4-6. JDG 2-0 them. Ruler 9-4-13, 29% of damage at 80 carry. Knight 12-2-10 was my MVP. Shanks did very well for World Elite, going 12-8-4 for 24% of the damage. A very wide spread of damage there. Game 1, Missing played well in the bot lane with Ruler. Got a couple 2v2 kills to start it off. Better team comp. Game 2 was a gross team comp. I absolutely hated it. But, JDG really just took it to him. And the thing is, though, there was definitely some sloppiness in the mid to late game, especially the late game. It took them a long time to end this one. World Elite were able to make a couple stands where Shanks was able to get some work done on the Aurelia. I think Knight might have been on Jace in game 1, and he was able to get a couple double kills as well to try and combat that in the base. However, I thought, it was a good attempt by Team We to stop things from happening. Yeah, it was game 1 he had Jace, because game 2 he had Kassadin, and that's part of the reason why I didn't like the draft. JDG went with Nidalee, Kassadin, jungle mid, and it was just awful. It was ugly. Missing played absolutely awful in game 2, having 4 deaths in the laning phase and early mid game on Lux. And honestly, in my opinion, Kanavi did his job. Caitlyn Lux bot lane. Kanavi went bot, executed a gank, got them ahead, and then Ruler and Missing could not carry that forward and pretty much lost lane to Jin Karma. Hope was able to actually do some nice things in this series in his revenge game. I thought that honestly there was a potential for an upset due to that, but the rest of Team we weren't really able to keep up, especially in the top and jungle. You know, Bubu's outclassed in my opinion, and Hang's a rookie against Kanavi, who I'd consider 1A, 1B with Canyon. So, you know, that's going to happen. Now, the game really stalled. Okay, so Team We had the first couple drakes, but JDG were able to stall the game out, allow Knight to get online on the Cassidy, which makes him MVP, because in Game 1 he did some things, and in Game 2 didn't have the atrocious laning phase like Ruler and Missing did. So once the Cassidy got online, he was able to make things happen, and then that's when Ruler also happened to get online, but I cannot ignore how bad they played that early to mid-game. You know, they should have been able to win lane with ease, and they did not complete that task. So, you know, that's something to look at going forward. It's nice that JDG still have issues, in my opinion. A team that is very good on paper, that I think's worst thing for them could be just easily running the table and then having to face somebody like T1 or Gen G or you know, somebody actually at their level at an international event and not really be prepared for that that moment as a group. Obviously, separately, they've been, you know, in big moments, but as a group, how to work through that together, that's another thing entirely. Now, LCK. Gen G and KT, it's kind of late to see if I'm still recording, but Gen G and KT, Gen G 3rd at 9-3, KT 7-5, 10th place. In the power rankings, and KT win 2-1. This is, I mean, KT won both best of threes this year against Gen G now. Aiming 9-5-17, team leading 29% of damage for KT. BDD went 18-2-9 in mid. I thought he played a absolutely cracked series. He was exceptional. Game 3, Pays went 16-6-7, 30% of damage. Now, this series was definitely a tale of literally KT doing well, Gen G doing well, KT doing well. I'm going to say I thought Pays played maybe his best series of the season in this one. I thought their bot lane, Gen G's, got just really, really took it to KT's. Like, Lahens was playing super aggressive in Game 3 in particular on the Leona, and they were just able to punish him over and over and over again. Pays' Caitlyn in Game 2 had like 9 kills by mid-game, like absolutely disgusting. I thought that even in Game 1, I think that they traded 2v2 kills. Like, Pays and Delight actually did very well into aiming in Lahens, a bot lane that I would consider slightly above them. And despite losing and having to deal with a lot of pressure from, you know, Cuz and BDD, they were able to do work. Now, BDD is MVP because he did do a lot of work. In my opinion, he gapped Chovy in many ways. Game 2 on the LeBlanc, even in the loss, BDD was very impactful. I think he ended like 4-1-0 or something. Game 3 on the TF, not quite as, you know, all over the place as I would have liked him to be. But when team fights came to be in the mid to late game, he was doing work and literally just like even ulting into the middle of team fights and able to execute gold cards and things of that nature and actually, you know, really get the team to the next level and win Game 3. I'm trying to remember what he played in Game 1. Chovy was playing Talia. It wasn't Gragas. It wasn't Annie. Keen was playing Gangplank in top lane, and he was doing a lot of work as well. I thought Keen got the better of Doran in this one. Game 1, Doran was absolutely dog. Absolutely. Like, it was disgusting how he was playing. And Keen was really good. But damn, I'm forgetting what BDD played in Game 1. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the KDA kind of speaks for itself. He was super good in this one. And I thought Cuz, had some good moments, and then some moments that kind of made you scratch your head. A couple failed dives and a couple plays that he probably wishes he had back. But otherwise, I mean, he comes out with the win, and that's all that matters. HLE and Nongshim. HLE 14th in the power rankings at 8-4. Nongshim 1-11. HLE win 2-0 in a total of 43 minutes. Game 2 was 18 minutes in total. Zeka went 6-1-12, 29% of damage. You could pick him or Viper MVP. It really doesn't matter. Viper 11-1-9. When your two carries go 17-2-21, that's a good sign. When one of your carries for Nongshim goes 1-9-5, that's bad. 27% of damage. Excuse me. Zeka's Jace in game 1 did a lot of work. Viper's Lucian. I think Viper played Caitlyn in game 2. I think, yeah, it was Caitlyn Lux. And his traps were just so coordinated with Klid's kicks on Lee Sin. Klid played maybe his best game he's played all split. His Lee Sin was absolutely cracked in game 2. Like, the kicks were right onto the traps. Like, the angles and everything, the geometry behind it all was really, really something. As HLE just put on a clinic in game 2. It's really even, I mean, I don't know really what else to say. It's really hard to pick an MVP because really nobody played all that poorly. Kingan solo killed Dindin in top lane even. In game 1, his Ornn went bot lane actually to be able to make a play, which is really nice to see. We don't see that often ever since TPs have changed, that top laners really go to bot lane to see, you know, have fights and things like that. That's from seasons past. And I thought he had moments as well. So, I mean, it's a really clean 2-0. This is one of the cleaner 2-0s you're going to find. Sneak peek for tomorrow. LCK, Sandbox, and KDF. Sandbox 6th in the power rankings with 8-4. The Freaks 2-11. Sandbox beat Nongshim last week. KDF lost to T1 a couple days ago. Last time they played was week 4. Sandbox would win 2-1. Mid lane was highlighted by the Discord. Closer went 10-7-6 for 27% of the team's damage in that one. Bulldog 7-5-6 for 31%. So both mid laners had some impact in that 3-game slate. T1 and Bro. T1 first in the power rankings at 12-1. Bro 4-8. T1 beat the Freaks a couple days ago, and Bro lost to DRX last week. Week 4, T1 would win 2-0. Zeus went 6-3-10 for 28% of the team's damage. Morgan went 1-5-5 for 19% of Bro's damage. I would say there's upset alert on here, only because Bro tend to really play T1 well. I know it was a 2-0 the first time, makes it even more of an alert for the second round robin. LPL, Rare Atom and IG. Rare Atom 4-5, IG 5-5, 25th in the power rankings. They are on a losing streak, losing to OMG last week. Rare Atom lost to EDG earlier this week. Week 9 in summer of 2022, IG would win 2-1. Half the starters from that series will start tomorrow. YSKM did not play in that series, so he is, there are no stats to cite. Cube in the loss went 4-8-7 against Zika, with 24% of Rare Atom's damage. BLG and LGD. BLG in 13th in the power rankings at 5-4. LGD 3-7. LGD lost to Weibo. BLG beat Ultra Prime. In week 6 of summer 2022, BLG would win 2-1. Only 2 players from that series will start tomorrow. Bin for BLG and Jin Zhao for LGD. Bin went 16-8-9. For 28% of BLG's damage in those 2 games. And Zhao Zhu is a rookie, so he wasn't in that one either. So Zhao Zhu and YSKM, both players, not with stats from that split. LCS, my predictions for members only will be via post form tonight or tomorrow morning when the LCS games are done tonight. CLG and 100 Thieves. CLG 6-5, 100 Thieves 5-4. Earlier in the split, CLG would win in week 4. Top lane was highlighted. Dokla on an Irelia went 4-1-7 for 30.8% of the team's damage. Tenacity went 1-4-1 on a Gwen with 19% of 100 Thieves damage. That one should be highly contested. I think 100 Thieves will need to at least split with CLG if they want a really good chance at being able to get in the playoffs, because the first 6 only get in the playoffs in the summer. Dig in C9, Dig 1-10, C9 8-3 and 18th in the power rankings. In week 4, C9 would win. Fudge on a Scion would go 2-3-7 for only 15.8% of the team's damage, but it's on a Scion. Now Armit went 2-5-3 on a Jace for 35.4% of his team's damage. You can't get any farther apart from each other when it comes to top laners when you have a Scion and a Jace. FlyQuest and EG. FlyQuest are 11th at 10-1. EG are 7-4. In week 3, FlyQuest would win. Spica on an Amumu went 3-2-13, or sorry, 3-2-12 for 18.9% of the team's damage. Inspired struggled, going 1-5-6 for only 7.6% of the team's damage on a Vi. TSM and TL. TSM 5-6, TL 4-7. In week 1, TSM would win. TL needs this win big time. When they played last, Boogie went 6-5-12 on a Graves for 18.3 of TSM's damage. Pioshik went 0-3-7 on a Sejuani for 11%. IMT and Golden Guardians. IMT 2-9, Golden Guardians 7-4 and 21st in my power rankings. Last time they played, Golden Guardians would win. Gory went 4-1-5 on a Silas for 29.7% of GG's damage. Balulu has not played in the LCS this split. I don't know if he's ever probably played Gory. Because Gory, I don't think, went to an international event. I don't think he has. Because with PSG, he was there in summer. PSG did not go to Worlds. Balulu did not go to Worlds. So maybe they've never crossed paths. So it'll be interesting tomorrow. But thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a supporter. And thank you for watching.